everything comes from. That's why they call it the breadbasket. If you look at satirical drawings and caricatures of
Mhm.
those times, this is what those artists were displaying in the editorials and the newspapers and stuff,
Mhm.
where they would have pictures of Hitler and his legs stretched from one continent to another over Europe to get to Africa. Then they would have ones where they would have, you know, the Italian Mussolini
Mhm.
and have him standing in front of, different caricatures that were, how would you say, depicting different parts of the third world idea or the downtrodden or the ones that they was battling, China, Korea, Philippines, stuff like that. And then they would put the American black right there at the end of the caricatures
Mhm.
because they knew that that whole thing, that's what that's part of, that type of idea.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, the
Gee.
satirical cartoons, if you really want to get an idea of that, you really get it from those satire, editorial type newspaper, cartoons that are talking about political stuff and all that good stuff.
Mhm.
And the idea of, Africa being the breadbasket to the world. Because that's like I was saying, that's always been everybody's, gone there. Then the
Mhm.
concept of what's middle of East, same continent, same area.
Yeah.
But those are all the spoken words and everything that people use to be able to seem very interesting, right? Nah.
Yeah, I know. Definitely.
Hmm?
Absolutely. Well, a couple of things. First of all, I want to say hello if you're tuning in. This is Let's Paint and Draw Along. My name is Nadine, and I'm here with Don Stephens. We got the whiteboard up. We're going to be diving into what I believe is some more of how to make something from nothing series, because we like doing series. And but there was a really interesting question that happened before the recording. Actually, I had a senior moment and forgot I didn't press record, and we were just talking. So I apologize. So actually, I apologize for us talking art. I'm gonna go down just a little bit, but we gonna be talking art. So I hope you enjoy this aspect of it, because there's a reason, and I'm gonna tell you why. But I dropped that. Uh,
Yeah.
first of all, first of all, real quick, I just looked up at my streaming application, and I want to check the other locations to make sure we're good with that. And you can see us. We try to stream on Facebook, which I gotta go check and make sure all of our little groups and everything know what's going on. Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, Patreon, and another group called Nas.io. We're just trying to Twitch. We're just trying to reach the masses, and get people to draw and paint, because we're all artists. So that was the first thing. But something changed. Now X, formerly known as Twitter, says I can't go live anymore unless I have X Premium. I could last week, but I couldn't this week. Can't now. So
So not all of that. All of this stuff is turning into paid to play.
yes, it is. Pay to play. I don't know. Something is deep. Y'all, we need your support. We need you to be liking our videos, sharing them, supporting us however you can help do that, because more and more of these places are not letting us go live unless we pay them. And we're trying to bring you a platform, an event. We're delivering events, sessions in a time frame so that you can join us and have a creative moment. So with that said, um it goes to explain why I'm learning how to chase the why. I love this.
Yeah.
So, Don, we were talking about chasing the why.
Uh-huh.
And I immediately went to branding and what everyone says you should do. You should know your why when you're creating a brand. And then you responded, I do that all the time. I chase the why.
Right. Why is that color?
Yeah,
Why is that train moving like?
yeah,
Why are those people standing?
yeah.
Why is that color intriguing me on that building? Why does the sunlight look like?
Are any of you out there in digital land, in the metaverse, having some kind of whiplash as if one of your children is asking you, why, mommy? Why? Like I was told, like I drove my mom crazy asking why.
Yeah.
And then
It's a
what happened?
no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what happens when we get older? It's almost, yeah, it's suppressed. That's probably not a good thing, y'all.
And asking why when you're in survival mode doesn't really help depending upon what your level is within the survival mode.
Well, like if you're pulled over by a cop because you
Yeah,
were
that's
whatever.
still survival mode.
It's
If
survival
you ask
mode.
the wrong way, you're not going to get a good response. You're going to get the ticket.
Yeah.
But if you ask why in an intuitive way, you may not get the ticket.
I don't know. It hasn't worked for me yet.
It hasn't, it hasn't.
uh,
Sometimes the officer says, okay, well, wait here a second. I understand what you're saying, sir.
mm-hmm,
Uh, let me get back to you. I'm gonna go to my vehicle and do my other half of what I need to do. Okay, the
mm-hmm,
officer will come back, and then at that point, you can look in your rearview mirror. If you see ticker tapes in his hand, you know what went down.
mm-hmm.
He checked the record and he said everything was cool except for, and then now you got all the tickets.
Yep.
Or if he comes back with one and he's smiling, then that may mean that's a warning ticket.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
That's nice.
and yeah, because then think about the why. Well, why are you stopping me? Why are you impeding my process? Okay, now if you go down that legality road, if you don't know these statutes and laws to a certain level to be able to convincingly use them live action,
Mm-hmm.
whoa, you got a problem. You're gonna go down the booking.
Yeah.
If you really don't understand what you're doing, and then you have to seek clarity afterwards, which means that that's when you're suing in civil court.
Mm-hmm.
The matter.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you chasing the why, but you got to understand how to utilize the why and when to turn it on and when to have it, you know. But you
Mm-hmm.
still got to chase the why, especially creatively.
Right. Chasing the why.
Mm-hmm. I'd
So,
rather be in that position than to chase the who. That's why sometimes I have a hard time connecting with galleries and things like that because a lot of times I'm not worrying about the who. I'm looking at the why and the what
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because they're both personal to the individual at that point. Your
Mm-hmm.
particular form. When
Mm-hmm.
I'm chasing the why, I can suggest the why to others, but if it's not personal to them at that time, then chasing the why means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
People will tell you, well, what do you mean? Why chasing the why? Why would that even help me? Think about
Mm-hmm.
what you just asked when the person said that. Why would that help me?
Right.
Then figure out why does it help you?
Why
That
does it help?
chasing why. They get the resolution, they get the answer that's needed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It keeps you in keep creating mode.
Yeah.
Because when you're chasing the why, you always have to be in some type of expressive mode.
Mm-hmm.
to be able to observe it, digest it, and then regurgitate it, which we call creativity.
Mm-hmm.
All day. So then now you're looking around and you're looking for something within this vastness of nothingness.
Isn't
And
that
then now
something?
you're extracting something from nothing based upon your experience, based upon you chasing the why.
You just brought it, you brought it full circle.
You know, if you really look around, that's what it is.
Uh-huh.
That every artist that have done it that you're saying that is noteworthy, that's caught and gathered your attention, and you would see it when you look past just looking at the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And really understand what those artists were doing during that time period in order for us to be able to still talk about them 400, 500 years later, 100 years later.
Still talking about it.
All right. But you have to understand the why. Why are they still
Mm-hmm.
talking about them if they're painters? And, you know, we're in a digital era and we're talking about people that still use brushes.
Right?
But then if you look at that, how many people are masterful to those levels of what we're told that we're supposed to look at?
Mm.
Not many, very few.
Right.
And that's why you have all these other derivatives, but you still have to ask yourself, why is it that I'm still garnering painters from the 13th or from the 15th century or 16th century as being important
Mm-hmm.
when they've been gone well over 200 years, gone.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the whys. Why do I like Picasso? Why do I like Jean-Claude Basquiat?
Mm-hmm.
You know, why? You know, why do I want to copy his work? Why do I want to draw and use his colors? Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Why?
What?
Mm-hmm.
Why? What for? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Why, Don? Why?
Yeah, it's not saying it. It's just that when you start doing what we call survival, if you really
Mm-hmm.
don't get these type of things, then everybody that's retired can say, "Oh, I see what you said." Because when
Mm-hmm.
I was for certain whys, I suppressed it because I wasn't in a position of being, how would you say, a person that made decisions
Mm-hmm.
in the position that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, my whys I would have to suppress.
Mm-hmm.
Or I would have to think, if I put this in the box, this note in the box, will it affect me negatively or will it make me prevail?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what suppresses the why. Because now if
Right.
you look at any career or any, job that's not self-made, then you see the dilemma. I'll suppress my natural instinct in order to, how would you say, receive what it is I need to receive to be able to survive the way that I'm perceiving myself to survive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that means that if I eat filet mignon every day or every other day, and I'm eating high end stuff, and I got chefs and stuff, I got to figure out how to maintain that lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you're ramen noodles and canned chicken and stuff like this, you still have to
Mm-hmm.
maintain that lifestyle, but you can't be delusional in your perception.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you might be able to buy one manufactured meal that comes close to what you would say is an elitist meal doesn't mean you're an elitist.
Right.
So these are the dilemmas that we have in society and culture and community, and it's all involved in the arts. And how
Mm-hmm.
do you find the food? I mean, how
Mm-hmm.
do you find the what? How do you chase the why? You know what I mean? To keep creating.
Yeah. How do
Yeah.
you do that?
Well, it's easy because you're using your surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why we're still looking at the board because when you're pulling something from nothing, really what you're saying is I'm pulling something from my micro world
Mm-hmm.
to introduce it to the macro world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
going to my own verse, my inner verse, you see, to
Mhm.
negate things out to display, i.e. I'm using feminine energy to negate things from within.
Mhm.
Not to say that masculine energy doesn't do that in a way, but if you look at creative energy and feminine energy, is closely related.
Mhm.
To whereas sometimes if you look at your favorite artist, they call their creative skills a female.
Yeah.
She always wants.
Mhm.
You hear other artists say, she's just like my wife. She always needs. She needs something.
She needs
Needs.
something.
Right,
She always needs something from me.
right. I don't have any peace. She always wants something. I can't be
Yeah.
with anybody. If I'm with anybody else, the person gets jealous.
Yeah.
Do you have to be in that studio all day? She's calling me.
Yeah, she's calling me into the room.
All right, I must go into this space. I must be with her. Well, I'm
Mhm.
your wife, or I'm your companion. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Or I'm your child. You're not paying attention to me. You're neglecting me. No,
Mhm.
dating our experiences out so I can explain that to the world so we can eat.
Mhm.
You must understand this mission that I'm on. Think about all the artists that you read about, male or female. You know, for lack of a better term, black or white or
Mhm.
brown. Doesn't matter
Mhm.
what nationality you look at. When you read into these artists, there's self-made turmoil that goes down.
Like, she's calling me. I gotta go. I gotta go finish it.
Right? Sometimes it's not even a word. That's when you start looking psychiatric. Schizophrenic. Now you're just moving.
Right.
You're not verbal. You're just about motion at that point. When you're that type of artist, Van Gogh,
Mhm. Mhm.
I get the urge, I just jump up and go. I'm chasing the why. Why are these
Mhm.
colors looking like this? Why is the scars looking like this? Why when I lay out here in these fields, these things is looking like they're coming to me? Why? Why?
Mhm.
Why?
Mhm.
Not why is my boss talking to me this way?
Mhm.
Why is nobody respecting me? Well, if you're on that type of why, you got to clear that up quick
Yeah.
and realize that you can only control you
Mhm.
and what's on your point of view and your perspective. You only control the form that your spirit, mind, and body. So your spirit and mind is housed in your body. That's the only thing that you can really control.
Mhm.
Even if you have a child, you're not controlling them.
Mhm.
The ultimate thing is you're giving them suggestions and
Right.
hopefully they adhere to the suggestion.
Mhm.
If
Mhm.
not, then survival kicks us in the butt. And then we look back hindsight and say, you know what, mom, dad, uncle, auntie, grandpa, grandma, I should
Mhm.
have listened to what you said back then. You know, I would be so much further right now if I would have just not been so big headed and thinking I knew because of my youth.
Mhm.
You're only being human at that point and you're creating.
Yeah.
How does that tie in from something from nothing? Well, what if you wanted to decide to talk about some of these things in a drawing?
Mhm.
How would you set that up just to do it? And to use our idea or the idea of utilizing basic shapes and lines and the idea of alluding towards form and space,
Mhm.
utilizing tonality or controlling the direction of light the way you may perceive it in your mind's eye.
Mhm.
Because what are you going to use as a template? Your surroundings.
Mhm.
All right, this is sometimes what I do, and then some people get offended sometimes when I say this, but this is the same thing you would do with special ed environments or behavioral sciences within the arts.
Mhm.
This is what you would use. I use it with, how would you say, rehabilitation, Alzheimer's, elder situations, crisis situations with elders, meaning that you have dementia, Alzheimer's, strokes, heart attacks.
Mhm.
This is the thing that you get individuals to do just to express internally and externally. So what are we talking about here? Well, let me draw this board, this square on the board so we can get started. An idea or a thought. Just if you wanted to, how would you say, work and work from your inside just to, how would you say, pull something that you may want to deal with. Watch this. Put this square up here. And we're going to use the landscape format. Portrait format, excuse me. So when all else fails, if you don't really need a lot of width, because the landscape view was built in so you can have a wide angle so that you can have more space when you're really doing a landscape to have a wider view, or a marine seascape and things like that, or an expanse in the metropolis. What's up, Nadine?
What's up?
Hopefully this is not upside down. I think I got my device kind of upside down, so hopefully it's spun around with this new 5G stuff. So
no, everything is right side up. Everything's good.
Okay, cool. Because I just noticed it when I looked at the camera, like, oh my God, it's upside down. Ooh! All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go with a real simple one first. All right. Well, I'll go over some tidbits, like say, for instance, if we're controlling a horizon line or eye level between these areas right here and right here. If you go about halfway, it's even with the eye level. Meaning that if you have a higher eye level or horizon, you'll get more land. If it's lower, that means the eye level or horizon line. If it's lower, you get more sky. Just as a thought for when you're trying to explain your surroundings or utilize your surroundings. So in other words, the eye level will mean your point of view. See what I'm saying, Nadine?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So if your point of view that you're perceiving is of you have more land or you're looking at the land, then it's best to put your eye level somewhere above the midpoint of the page or your format. If you want to deal more with sky elements and putting planes or birds or whatever it is to make it seem like it's flying above, you will put that eye level below or that horizon line below the midpoint of the page. Also, you take into consideration you don't want to go to the bottom of the page. So you leave about a little bit of space before you say, okay, that's it, before I'm having to be worm's eye or ground level or the God level or bird level or sky level or plane level, the upper atmosphere looking down at them. You see? All right, with that being said, let's have some fun. What I mean by that is, let's do a hand holding a cup. So I would draw the cup first, right in the middle of the page, just like this, everybody. Can you see that pretty good, Nadine?
Oh, yes.
Okay, cool.
Looking good.
All right. So now, when we do a shape like that first, we're saying, is it a cup or is it a mug? How is that hand or how is your hand going to hold that perceived shape? You see, is it going to hold it on the right side or is it going to hold it on the left side? Now, another way of looking at this is directly your point of view. But think about it. You don't see yourself when you're doing this. Like how I'm holding the cup up to the camera. See how my arm is?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what we're thinking about doing. If I want to do it that way, where I'm holding the cup, or we can do it where we're holding the handle. But the whole aim is to do it from your personal point of view, because that's all you're seeing when you're really looking around. You see your limbs and appendages coming into view. You never really see yourself until you're looking into a device that will reflect you back to you.
Like me right now.
Right. So other than that, how would you really be able to even know what you look like? if you didn't, you know, first
Mhm.
just see your appendages from your point of view and then see yourself in a reflection in water or something like this to really understand what you look like. Now, I know that's like a sidebar, but yeah, if you know me, Don gets caught up in all these little conundrums, but some way, somehow, it's all connected to being one, and that's the mission, to show the oneness in all of it,
Mhm.
to show how that, you don't have to say if you retire, oh, well, my daughter or my son is an artist. I'm really not. Before my mother passed, she was able to eventually say, no, my son let me know I'm an artist. I'm the ultimate artist. That was so beautiful to hear. I
Mhm.
love you, Mom. You finally understood it. Some of my aunties and stuff I had conversations with, and I would explain these ideas that we're talking about now so freely. And it's a beautiful thing to hear your matriarchs, say, no, we really truly understand, and then break it back down to you. Oh, beautiful. So then,
Beautiful.
what's the issue, Nadine? I'll let you choose that. Do we want to come in from the right side like that?
Mhm.
Or do we want to come in from the left side like
I
this?
I think we should do the left side because we've done the right side already before, right?
Okay, cool idea. So in other words, since I'm still using the blue marker, are we grabbing it like a mug or are we holding it like a coffee cup?
I think hold it like a coffee cup.
Okay, let's make the handle first then. And look at how we don't have to worry about perspective to do this. I'm saying where the space is, where the shape that's going to be perceived as a handle is going to go.
Mhm.
Watch what I do. I'm going to come here, then come down, and then come back here.
Mhm.
Now I'm going to make a little square on the top here. Now I'm going to make the handle part down here. See how that happened? Now I'm
Mhm.
going to go to the inside and do that here.
Mhm.
See how we just made that handle? Now I can just make the thickness here of the side part. And there's your handle. You see it?
Mhm.
Hello?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, was
So
I
with
off? Okay.
that being said, the reason why I'm doing it in blue is because that's like the light sketchy pencil.
Mhm.
If I was doing this in marker, I would more than likely probably put the hand first or start the hand first to get the handle to go into the cup.
Mhm.
When you're doing it with a light sketchy with your pencil first, then you can do all of this first and then make the hand seem like it's coming into that. So how do we do that now? Watch. We have to see the inside of the hand. So that means the hand is coming this way. You may see the wrist right around here. And then we make the wrist go out, just the way that we're perceiving it. See that? This is the palm of the hand now. See what's happening? I can make it so that the palm of the hand covers that whole area because most of that's going to disappear when you put the hand in.
Mhm.
You see? Where's the
Mhm.
thumb going to go? Well, if we use our own hand as a template and you look at your hand, you see?
Mhm.
Or even better yet, oh, I don't have my teacup over here, else I will pull my teacup out. I'm so in love with this Yeti, uh, uh, Nadine, that I
You don't
can't
even
look
use
back.
them up. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't even worry about using the mug no more. It's crazy. But I'll do this then, you see? So we're coming in like that, but you can see where I put that square at right there.
Yeah.
And then look at your own hand if you want to, holding a cup the same way. And now when you look at that, you can see where the thumb is going to be right here. See what I did?
Yeah.
And now you would erase out where the thumb is covering that cup. You see? Not the handle just yet, though.
Mhm.
See what's starting to happen?
Yeah.
So we have the thumb there in three parts. But those are the phalanges. starts with a P, everybody, a PH. You see, now we can see what? That the index finger would come through here. So the knuckle would be back here. You see, that finger would come through here, and then now we would make it come back this way. And then now we'll erase that out. See what's happening now?
Mm-hmm.
Next finger would come out a little bit further here, here, and then we may see the tip of the finger a little bit more in the inside of the palm of the hand. Now we erase that out. See what's happening?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So that's what? Thumb, index, middle. Now we got to put the ring, so I can put the ring right here, put it up a little bit higher, or further next to the cup, to show that it's having a connection with the handle, and then show the bottom of the finger doing this. So now I can erase out that middle part there of what it's covering. And what do we have left to do? That pinky. So
Yep.
then now some interesting things we can do with the pinky. We can let the pinky just dangle if we want.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go for that. You see, and then now I cover where that is. So now you're not seeing the handle at all, basically. Why? Because that handle was right here. You see?
Mm-hmm.
And now the bottom of the hand, there's the palm where the thumb is here. See? And then this is the rest of the meat that goes towards the pinky. And that's the middle where the tendons are there. You see, to get the basic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's the basic idea. Start it off. Now here comes the fun part. What is going inside your cup or coming outside of your cup? What environment are you in?
Oh, wow.
You see, are you in a
Mm-hmm.
room? So far, we've been on the beach.
Mm.
You've been on water for the last 3 sessions, I believe, outdoors.
Sure have been.
You,
We
you
should be
see
in
what
a
I'm
coffee shop. We should be in like a coffee shop or something.
Yeah, or we decide some type of enclosed space that we
Mm-hmm.
may be in. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, why not just make it simple? Like, okay, you see how that pinky looks odd? I don't like the way it looks.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I'm going to do?
What are you gonna do?
I'm going to collapse the pinky to the palm of the hand.
Mm-hmm.
So now I would erase this out here, right? And erase this here.
Mm-hmm.
And then now turn the finger this way to show that it's going into the palm of the hand to be more of a gripping motion.
Mm-hmm.
See the difference now?
Yeah.
Makes a little bit more sense. And now that you see where the handle is, you see where the nail would go for the thumb.
Mm-hmm.
You see? Now that's when you come back in with the marker or the paintbrush if you're using it to darken things in. But I wouldn't do that yet to make that permanent. This is what some people do, though, when they're teaching themselves how to draw or they're pulling from their inner world,
Mm-hmm.
just to lay things down. So
Mm-hmm.
you may just start off like this with the notion, a hand holding a cup. What could that mean? If we was outside and we showed, like, look, if I did this, if I did this idea right here to this, if I put what we would call fiat or paper money on the inside, you see,
Ooh.
and then have what looks like coins falling down
Mm-hmm.
at different denominations, $50, quarter, dime. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then that's a fantasy one. That's a subjective one. How could I take that same notion and say that's Salvation Army idea?
Oh, wow.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How can I take that idea and say that that idea is existing on Kensington Avenue right now?
Mm-hmm.
Panhandling.
Wow.
You see, if we just look at when we just take just one idea from your natural realm, you holding a cup, how many different things does you holding a cup represent? You see, if I just do this, now if I do this idea, if I do, and then now I just do with no background now. We're just doing just basic lines and shapes now. And I did this like this. What are you instantly thinking I'm about to talk to you about?
Tea.
Of some sort.
You about ready to spill the tea.
Right. That can be that too. That's what that means in our society, to spill the tea.
Right.
You know, to have to talk at the water hole over tea, over coffee. Hey, let's talk this out. Let me know what's going on. You see what I'm saying? And then now you can have whatever's going on in what we would call the background area, or the areas that this idea, the hand, is being positioned in. To say, I'm offering you information that you will get no place else. Or here's a brand of tea that you've never had. It's my own blend.
Right.
Then, all right, after this point, then what's the environment after that? So you see how it helps in certain behavioral situations, certain mental issues, because now you're not just thinking about something just sporadic. You're taking something that you know you've done in your life. You're holding a cup, but now you have to go inward to pull the experience out. It totally helps somebody with dementia, somebody with Alzheimer's. And it helps with the severe cases too, because you just have to be redundant, repetitive, and be persistent, because everything would have to be a regimen, be the same for that individual that's having thought issues, whether it's, you know, short term or long term, to be able to evoke an idea like this. You see what I'm saying? Oh, all right. This morning when you had coffee, what was your thoughts? What did you read in the newspaper?
Somebody tried to kill Trump.
Right. So then now what would you be able to do? You were right all over the page. They tried to Reagan Trump.
Yeah.
If you lived during that era, they tried to Reagan Trump.
Woo!
You see? So could you write across the top, oh my God,
Oh my
Trump
God.
shot? Oh, wow, they finally got him.
Yeah, but he rose to the occasion, Nixon style.
Right.
Yeah.
He blended several different things together. I do agree. But look at what a hand, a perceived hand holding a cup with a tea bag ending coming out with lines coming out resembling steam does to the thought process.
Yeah, it does a lot.
And this is what I'm saying. This is how you can evoke different ideas to draw from when you're pulling something from nothing, everybody. This is what these sessions are about. How do you pull something where you can make others believe that it's coming from thin air when it's really not? It's coming from your pool of experiences. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what type of subjective or abstract artist it is. It's not just coming from nowhere. A lot of people try to argue with me, and I tell some friends, I'm like, I'm not trying to debate it with you, but the minute that you say that you're writing about an experience, well, rather you're painting about an experience you had, what does that say? You're pulling from the everyday. It's not coming from nowhere. It's how you're regurgitating your experience, and you're relaying it in your simplistic way, or your highfalutin way, or your photorealist way, or your minimalist way. You know what I mean? Depending upon your levels of your interest or the levels of your hand movement. But nonetheless, it doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from you analyzing your bubble. And this is how that can help. And then this is where you can create. Because remember, I'm doing it in blue. This is just the template, the start of the idea. The idea can transition several ways. We can go right back to a beach, or we can go to a park scene. Or I can put a fence up, right? Watch this. Watch how easy this is. Just with making shapes and thinking about your yard, Nadine. Just looking straight out your window and thinking about your backyard when you're back. And you let me know. I'm gonna leave that scheme there like that. We're gonna do a line like this now. And then now we're gonna do a line like this now. But then in between these lines, what I'm gonna do is I'm not even gonna describe it. I'm just gonna put humps like this on this line. And then now in between those, I'm gonna put a line here like this, and then put lines like this down this way. What does that resemble? Even if I don't put them in a symmetrical way or a uniform way, but I'm just putting it there for you to be able to understand. Does that feel like a fence?
Yes. Yes.
Like the wooden ones, right? Yeah. And now you can just that simple, look. You can apply it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then I can put another line to show the brace down here. You see? And then now let's look at it. Maybe you're in an area where you don't have neighbors per se. Okay, then now you can do things like this to say where trees are and where bushes are. See? Maybe leave a little bit of that open so now you can see this, and maybe a rolling hill or two back. You see what's starting to happen now?
Oh yeah.
Then now maybe you have a slight walkway out there on this side, like a bed of flowers. See? Maybe you're trying to do vegetables, so maybe you'll have it in rows. See that? Does that feel like a row of possibly plowed land?
Oh yeah.
All right, even make it feel better, you can put some short stalks starting to grow up, some sprouts that's coming up, maybe of some kale or spinach or lettuce, romaine. You see what I'm saying? Doesn't that feel like that? Okay, then what can we put over the top? You see what I'm saying? Maybe we can put a fire pit. That's what I would want, a fire pit. So then now I would make another circle on the outside. See what I'm doing? Now you would put the idea of those bricks that would be around there. Notice how we're not having to worry about perspective. Now, I know some of you that's looking at this are probably saying, well, Don, you don't have to worry about perspective because you know what you're doing. But what I'm saying to you is that how is that right or wrong right there?
Right.
You see? It's not right or wrong until I, the creator of it, state that one, it's a complete thought, and then two, ask you for your opinion once I say that's a backyard. Yeah, oh yeah, you're somewhere in Delaware County, possibly. Oh, you're in South Jersey. Oh no, you in Route 13 in Delaware, going towards the Chesapeake Bay Bridge in Delaware, Delaware University and the University of Delaware and all that stuff. Oh, no, you're off one of those houses that's off of 295 out there in the in between area where it's nothing but forest land going towards the Delaware Memorial Bridge
In
the
the
Woodbury.
boondocks.
Yeah, yep, you can say that. Oh, we're in the boondocks.
Yeah.
Think about it. Now I can erase all of that away except for the cup and go straight to another thought, just from that one notion of a hand holding a cup. You see, I can make it even more personal and make it seem like you're actually sitting there. You're actually sitting there. So think about what you see when you're actually sitting someplace like this. You may see your knees like this. Let's see, I'll do the other one. And let's have some fun with this one. Let's bring it up, right?
Yeah.
To make it go down and away from us. to possibly show us the instep of our foot being covered by the cup. Look at that. What does that feel like? Okay, let's make it seem like I'm outside and I just got on my shorts. See the ankle? See the calf? See the upper thigh? And now I can put the shorts. See that? Does that feel like somebody's sitting there?
Oh, yeah.
See what I mean? But that's just me just thinking about what my legs may look like when I'm sitting down outside looking off of a porch, or when I did do that when I was down south, North Carolina, and there's family members or friends that have things going on like that in their backyards. Friends over in Burlington County, Camden County, Essex County, Middlesex County that I know of, people that have brought in artwork, their backyards or something like that. On a basis, a lot of people's backyard is that way because when you look out your back door, you normally see your fencing. When you're looking out and looking to your hand to say, okay, that cup is good. Those plants is right. How does that look when you're sitting in the chair?
Right.
If it's your personal view. And then look at how we didn't have to worry about perspective because we changed the positioning of things, the size of things, the perception of distance. You see, it's implied. And then now, if you really want to look at it too, let me pull this other little part out so you'll understand even more so what's going on. Once we put this here and it's almost central, that's really your point of view.
Right.
Here, that's your middle axis there, right? And then where would the eye level be? Eye level is right about here on this. Up, see? How did we know that? By looking at the angles that we took to go in towards that perspective, that's that one dot that you have. Notice how when I put that dot there, as soon as I put it there, you start to see why things are going and why it feels like it's going in that direction. And how you imply a personal view of that level, where you're trying to make it absolutely seem like it's like how you would see in a commercial or a cartoon, somebody talking to the main character and you just see the hands moving like this. Well, oh man. And then even in the video games, they have views like this, then it'll go down and the gun will come up.
Yep.
Go down
Isn't
and
that
another
something?
gun. You know what I mean? It'll all be from this angle. So yeah, if you're fishing, I played that game where if you're fishing, and a different fishing pole will come up. Different fishing pole will come up. You see what I mean? But it's that personal view, or the idea of a personal view. You see? Come on, everybody.
I see.
Because
I'm writing
now,
it down too. That's a good one. And we take that for granted, actually, that we may hear a point of view sometimes in a movie or someone talking about a movie and they say this is the point of view of the main character, and sometimes it's a mental thought and sometimes it's actually visually what you're looking at. But by the mere fact that you turned around and said, when playing a video game, have you noticed when the arm comes out like this is the character's point of view. And it's done on purpose, and there is no doubt that that's your point of view in the character in the game.
That's mimicking how you actually see as a being, as a humanoid.
As a humanoid. It may be a little bit they may exaggerate it a little bit.
And they have to.
But it's, to make sure you get the point that it's not somebody else's arm, it's your arm.
Right.
Because if the view change in any way, like coming from this side, this may not be your arm.
Right. That
There
may
may
be
be
somebody else coming from the top down like this.
right. And you be like,
Down from the top of the angle like this to
I'm
grab
being,
you.
yeah, I'm being
They'll
invaded.
show you that angle of somebody trying to grab you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's all about showing that point of view. And with that being said, that's why that box, or the sacred cube, as they call it, is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Because that cube, the edges of the page, the edges of the canvas, the edges of the wall, if you get what I'm saying, the edges of the cement block that you may be doing a chalk art on the floor or on the ground. Yeah, the edges of that is your personal view.
Mm-hmm.
That's your world. That's your personal view. The
Mm-hmm.
cinematography, the TVs and all of that mimics your absolute function as a human being.
Mm-hmm. And they want
So
to take you there. They use those signs to take you there. And as an artist, when we are doing the 2D art, we want to take the viewer there as well. We want to take ourselves there.
yeah, but see,
When,
I stay away from terms like 2D and 3D and all of this. I'm showing you how it's
why?
actually in your world and
Okay.
how you're recreating
Mm-hmm.
your movements. Because as soon as you say 2D, some people, they want to look for two dots now.
Oh, okay.
But that's the program.
Oh.
See, the program is, if you want to do something in perspective, you got to have either three dots or two dots or one dot.
Okay.
I'm saying to you to evade that in the beginning and not overload yourself. Understand that everything's personal to you first. How is that so? When that middle red line that I got, vertically speaking, is the middle meridian of your face, your nose, where the middle of your teeth is, and everything else, that's your middle meridian. And then now when you see the cross one, that's your eye level. Put it on your eye. Yep, there you go. And that point where they cross in between your eyes, that's that dot that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's projected forward. Every time you're looking, as soon as you turn your head, center is always taken into consideration because your nose is pointing there. That's why they say your nose knows.
Your nose always knows because that's where it's
Right.
pointing.
Right. And then you don't have to worry about center. You don't have to worry about perspective if you concern yourself with how things look personally in your world and depict from that idea first and then expand outward. Can you draw yourself looking like you're eating at the table? How many different points of view can you draw or recreate your display of your dinner or of your meal? Even if it's just in the bags and you threw it on the table, how are you going to express or recreate that scene? This is what helps in the behavioral science. Because I've drawn on a board a hand like this. The first thing that they had to conquer is, how do I draw this hand like Mr. Don? So then now that lesson is there first. And now if they don't understand how to spell coffee or cup, we're writing down the spelling. Yeah, for you, with the camera facing you, you have to do everything going away from you to look like what we're doing, what I'm doing on the screen.
Yeah, so I'm doing this now so I can see if I got there.
Now you see it, yeah.
I got there or not. So
you got it.
Yeah, so now I gotta see if my picture is reflecting it.
There it is.
You see, I put my toes out.
You got it. You got it. You put your toes. Nadine is in her backyard, man, chilling.
I need to get me a fire pit.
Yeah, you see how that, look at that. How you made your, oh my goodness, go Nadine, go. You see how easy that was? See how you didn't worry about foreshortening or nothing?
But then I put
When you just think about, what does it look like to me if I was sitting there?
Right.
You see? What am I really seeing? Then you saw it just like how, I'm saying it to you. You can see it by just holding up a cup and looking at yourself and then looking down and saying, oh my
Oh
God,
God, that's me.
my leg out. It does look like that. Oh my
Yeah,
God, my foot does look smaller down there
yeah.
than my knee does when I'm looking for my personal view. And as I get to my stomach, then I don't have to show my stomach if I don't want to. I can just show from my groin area down.
That's right, because y'all don't want to see my stomach.
Right. And that's the creative license that you have in these situations.
Mm-hmm.
You see? Look at how you didn't even ask about proportions for the foot and all this good stuff. You
Mm-hmm.
just put a couple of basic shapes that get smaller as they perceive to be going away from you. Your
Mm-hmm.
mind and every viewer's mind is going to say, what? That's a
Mm-hmm.
foot, and that's her personal view.
Yeah.
Put the nail on the thumb, and then the next one after that is you don't control this part, what type of shoe she has on. What
Yeah.
type of cup? Does she have long nails? Does she have long nails, a French manicure, regular nails? You see what I'm saying, Nadine?
Yeah, that stuff mess up my nails. I did that
Right.
one time going to a wedding,
Uh-huh.
and then I ended up I can't get rid of the ridges on here, these lawns now. They really
Yeah, you got to get it buffed
jack me,
out. It's silicone.
but I didn't have them before. But
But
after
that's
I
because
put that when they put that, they didn't put new nails on there. I'm sorry. They put the paint, they painted it, they had all those layers and everything. And it
yeah.
jacked me up.
Yeah, that's what normally happens because as your fingernail is growing, it's forming a ridge. So now that's why you see them always buffing the nail
Yeah.
and then adding acrylic on top to give the nail back strength because it's
Ooh,
being piled down so much. And that's what
yeah.
happens when you go on the French manicures and stuff.
Ugh,
But yeah,
yeah.
yep, that's the stuff you would have to consider when you're recreating or creating something from nothing.
Yes.
You see, that's your fire pit there. You got your fencing. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got your stalks or whatever is growing on the left side. Yeah. You haven't really decided what you got in your cup yet. Do you got a hot toddy? Do you have a hot coffee, a hot tea? See what
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
saying? But I know
Yeah.
you're happy that your hand turned out. Wasn't that the easiest way to draw the hand?
Yeah, it was really easy to draw the hand like that. Yeah, that did
Yeah.
work out.
And then that's how you look at your own self as a template for this stuff, baby.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because now the next thing we're going to talk about once again is like how we did last time. And I'll put the slight diagram up like how we did last time, which is what? The direction or the implied direction of light.
Yeah, okay.
Meaning that since we're in the backyard, see, we're still outside, but now we're in a more, how would you say, a refined area to the human. So what we're saying is remember, we're using this motion here, or let me do that in a different color now. Do that in a red again. So this will be the direction of the light, you see?
Mm-hmm.
So this what direction, which would be what? Dawn. And then the light coming from this direction will be what? Dusk, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then now if the sunlight or the light source is here, that would be considered noon.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so then any point in between there is a different aspect of time or a different implied aspect of time.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So if you
Yeah.
wanted the light to come from this direction, right? That means that all the shadows would have to be on what? The right side.
Mm-hmm.
Like say, for instance, if we was to put a shadow on the foot, that means that if the light's coming from the left and cascading to the right, that means that that shadow for the foot would be here. You see? And then now that shadow, since the leg is up, may dissipate right around there. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Everything out here the shadows would be off to the right side. Even on the inside, this would be darker in here because it's not facing the light. See what's starting to happen? Even with me just using the red marker.
Yeah. Yeah.
This side of the cup would be dark. So I'm just going to use lines to show where that shadow would be if I use this light source here.
Mhm.
You see? And then now I would use, if I was cross-hatching and stuff, use some curvilinear lines to show the curve of the cup, to imply even more of the curve of the cup. See what happened when I did that?
Ooh, yeah.
Now I'll put a little bit of a inside here. The darkness will be on the inside here now, and then be light over here. So now look what we did. Look what we implied.
Mhm.
Feel like we're looking into that cup,
Oh, yeah.
and that's how you would look at the lights and darks of the matter. So if you're saying that the light is coming from the upper left and cascading to the right, that means that all shadows will be on the right side.
Mhm.
Even the shadows on the leg, to show the roundness in the leg, the roundness in the arm. The inside of the hand would be the darkest. You can see that because that's the furthest point away from the light.
Mhm.
You see? So everything would adhere to that darkness, moving in that way. Because the light is dictating where those darknesses. So even in your background, are the things behind the fence on the other side of the fence. You can make it seem like it's a neighbor's backyard over there. You can show the tops of the house possibly. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then that would, even push the idea of space and environment even more, just by putting one, I would just say triangular shape to show the top trellis of the house, if it's a ranch. You see, so I'm thinking, because this is how it looks in the area where I reside a lot of times, which would be Burlington County, Willingboro area. Shout out to Willingboro, everybody. So this would be like if I had a neighbor that had a ranch. See, and the house would be behind that thing. Maybe I'm seeing the roof with the way the house is positioned. You see, so now all that erases away. Now I have the top of the house. Say for instance, well, I had one neighbor one time. They had windows that would across their back like this. I believe that was their bedroom.
Mhm.
And other windows and stuff that you showed the bottom there. The minute that you do that, and then now you have to show the chimney aspect. You see,
Mhm.
look at how that feels like there's a neighborhood. Get that notion or idea or intent, Nadine?
Oh, yeah.
And now I put the lines for the shingles on the rooftop. This is where if you wanted to, if you had neighbors that had what's those solar panels, you can
Mhm.
put the solar panels on the top of the house because if you're in suburbia and you and your neighbor are all on one level, then from your back door, you're not going to see too much of the bottom of the house. You're going to see more of the top of the house.
Mhm.
In suburban areas where they're in between rural and city environment, you may have a two-story cobblestone out there. If we're talking about Delaware County out our way here in Pennsylvania and in South Jersey, you would have colonials, as they call
Mhm.
them, and all the different names for split level houses or two level houses. Colonial will be one, and everything on one level will be a ranch.
Mhm.
But with all that being said, depending upon where you're at, that fence would look a little bit different. Your neighbors will look a little bit different. Like,
Mhm.
say, for instance, if that was West Philly,
Mhm.
if that was Camden, Trenton, Sicklerville, Atlantic City,
Mhm.
how would that backyard look? It would look totally different,
Right.
you know? So that's what
Mhm.
I'm saying. Just from a cup like this, look at what idea we got and look at how fast the idea went down.
Mhm.
Because then after you get it like this, you have to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to either start filling this in with marker or I'm going to fill it in with watercolor. Or you see what happens now? Now you can pick and say what medium you're going to put in.
Mhm.
Or you can stay with pencil. Start to darken it and make more things permanent. Look for the darks and lights. Show us what your grass is going to look like, or maybe you don't have grass in the backyard.
Mhm.
So what type of ground can you show us that you're on?
Mhm.
Maybe you're sitting in a lounge chair. How could you show us that? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because right now we got it looking like we're sitting on the ground somewhere.
Mhm. Or a chair. Could be sitting on a chair.
Well, we have no element to show the chair. I'm saying that I'm looking at my version. My version looks like he's closer, or the individual is closer to the ground, more so
Mhm.
than sitting in a chair. Like I may have one knee tucked underneath of me, and the other
Mhm.
knee is going out in front of me.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm sitting appreciating this cup of tea.
Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah,
very nice hot cup of tea.
right. See where your mind goes, you start relaxing. You start thinking about all the moments where this image was possibly in your world.
Mhm.
If you're a human being, you can't tell me you haven't had a moment like this somewhere. What
Somewhere.
if you was at work, your occupation? Now you have to show other people walking around and stuff and show
Mhm.
a cubicle, or what type of occupation are you in? You see what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
Or you're an office worker? Do you work outside? Or you're an independent worker? What environment are you going to show us that you're working? Somebody
Mhm.
could be saying they're working right here.
Right.
What are you working on? My relaxation techniques.
Mhm. Breathe
Enjoying my
in,
environment.
breathe out.
But all of that from just, how would you say, trying to express something from nothing, something from your everyday.
Mhm.
Gotta admit, these suggestions that I'm giving now that I normally give in class situations, stuff like that, these suggestions really help you to get your expressions out,
Mhm.
whatever they are. It can be a product. Say, for instance, you got an idea for a product.
Mhm.
You can do the same thing, the same ideas. I don't want to call them rules, everybody, because this is really still just theories.
Mhm.
Can these be broken? Can dawn be on the right side and dusk be on the left? Yes, depending upon how you're setting it up in your world from your point of view,
Mhm.
for us to be able to perceive it that way when you let
Right.
us know the title.
Yep.
But
Yep.
other than that, once again, how could you be wrong in this expression?
You can't be wrong.
Something they say to you is cartoony. You can take that. Yeah, okay, it's cartoony. Yeah. I don't have a
Mhm.
direct source.
Mhm.
You see? It's
Mhm.
only going to be as real as what I make it appear to be
Mhm.
by adding or subtracting certain essential ideas based upon line, shape, form, light, surface.
Mhm.
Just think about it. Now you have to deal with the textures of everything there, right? Like, what's the
Yep.
texture of those rocks that you made for your fire pit, Nadine?
Oh yeah. I
Because
don't.
you made them thick enough where they can look like marshmallows.
Yep.
You see where the imagination can go, depending upon if you're trying to make this a real space or an alternate space.
Right.
But it's entirely up to you. Once the template is there, like how I got the suggestion there, you can take it
Mhm.
anywhere.
Mhm.
So if we have anybody that's like special ed or behavioral technicians, this is excellent for that. You'll look like a movie star to the kids or to your population.
Make it look like candy.
Right, because they're going to entrust in you more because you're showing them actual time how to manipulate lines and shapes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be perfect. Long as you're not worrying about being perfect, your crowd is going to be okay. But the minute that you start going through something and not verbalizing it, and it can be seen that you're nervous about it, then nah, it's going to backfire on you. Especially in the behavioral sciences, that leaves the room for the child or the participant to judge now, because I can see that you're having a weak moment. And in those environments, a weak moment is an advantage. Meaning that when you're having a moment of non-clarity, when you're having a moment of indecision, this is normally where jokes come in.
Yeah.
You know. So, but if you're, how would you say, observant in the matter, and you're doing what it is that you need to do, and you understand there is no wrong. So no matter what the person is saying, it's their right to say. And these are the things that you show in those environments on drawings and things and projects like what we're doing right now. But those professional artists that we know that may be partaking and looking at what we're doing, you can take the idea and run with it. What does the metaverse look like from this point of view when you're just drinking a cup of coffee in your living room?
Right.
You know, is the TV really the TV when you're watching it? Or does some of the information leak out of that cube into your world? And could you show that just from you holding this cup? Or the idea of somebody holding the cup? Psychologically, what does that say? In the setting that we just gave is giving off several different things that the person can think about.
Right.
You know, sustainability, when you're seeing those rows of plants over there. You think relaxation because the cup and the way the person has positioned themselves. So it's going to allude towards all those ideas of what relaxation or having a moment to self may mean. Because is drinking important to be relaxing? Well, not necessarily, but we're saying that if I put a symbol or an idea of a cup or a mug in somebody's hand, and then put those type of shapes next to it, the tea bag logo tab, and a string going, looking like it's going in to what I'm calling a mug or a cup, your audience is automatically going to think, whether they have to speak English or not, they're going to say, oh, that's some type of tea or offering or something.
Right.
Some people may even think, oh my God, you're giving it with your left hand. And then they may even think about how a left-handed person may have to deal with this idea. Because the cups made for right-handed people or left-handed.
Ooh, let me think about that.
Yeah. There's so many different things that this can evoke in a conversation or a series of paintings. You know, what is relaxation? What is beverages to relaxation or self moments? Could it be a cold drink that can give off the same thing, non-alcoholic or alcohol? What would this be non-alcoholic scene or alcoholic scene?
Yeah, you can make it alcoholic if it was like a copper mug. There's a drink that they put in the copper mug.
Yeah, but I know of dealing in certain environments when I did this as a group session. It came out that one person or a couple of people in the room said that that was a hot toddy. But look at what that alludes towards, your personal world when you're explaining this idea. That's what I wanted them to do in the room. That was the mission for that group session. You know, How do I deal with seclusion? How do I deal with being with self?
Mm. That's hard for some people.
Yeah. So then we deal with it by doing a drawing of it or some type of expression. Say, for instance, the person's drawing skills is not that good and they don't feel confident about even what we did here today. Then all I would say to that person, and especially if they have a physical handicap, is write the words in.
Mm-hmm.
Just write the words around the cup.
Mm-hmm.
You know, backyard, fully green,
Mm-hmm.
sustainability,
Mm-hmm.
fencing. And you see
Mm-hmm.
how that becomes an abstraction, but still it's a creation that's expressing the inner thought of the individual of when they have a cup,
Right.
what that could mean.
Right.
Offering, all this good stuff, friendship, thoughts of loved ones, thoughts of friends,
Mm-hmm.
you know, epiphany moment, daydreaming. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Could you be daydreaming right now, like, oh man. And then all of a sudden, when you shake your head, there's garbage all over the backyard.
Yeah. Do, 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 do.
The leaves on your neighbor's house is not really growing in good. It's fungus all over the plants. The neighbor's backyard is really not well kept at all. It's like a storage space,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So you're having a daydream right now. This is the way that you wished your backyard looked like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah, I wish my backyard looked like this.
You see? See all the different, you know,
Mm-hmm.
intentions we can have with just one thought. And then think about it, everybody. This was impulsive and really goes into our idea for something from nothing because we pulled it out of our conversation.
Yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
see? So, as far as pulling something from nothing to understand your surroundings, this is another one that just helps you with just taking a basic idea and then moving it forward, whether you have a pen, pencil, or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
Controlling the light, which after that point means you control the texture.
Mm-hmm.
What is the texture of the grass? Is it like bluegrass? Is it well manicured? Do you got crabgrass all over the place?
Yep, that would be mine.
Say again?
That would be mine.
Well, see, but this is what I'm saying. This is what you can describe or omit out of your scene.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
And I hope this, you know, segment and really assist everyone to get to a creative point where they can create something.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, and keep creating and observing and looking at your surroundings, you know, for possibilities, and then looking at your experiences in these surroundings for experiences to create.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of you may not like the fire pit on the right, so in the next one you may move it to the left side.
Mm-hmm.
You may not like the wood fence idea. You may want that white, you know, I would say aluminum fence that some people have.
Yeah, I was feeling some kind of way.
You see?
Yeah.
So yeah, these are all the possibilities with something from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I go back in with the black marker and show how it was finalized, and you start seeing how it really finalized, and then it'll really jump again. To whereas everything will start laying down,
Mm-hmm.
you know, seeming like it's on a flat terrain going away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see how everything is implied on a flat, you know, piece of paper. And now you see why a lot of times I don't suggest 2D, 3D.
Mm-hmm.
I just say, you know, form, space. You know, how are you going to show us the space? And if the person still continues going with 2D, 3D, then I show the concept and how much more complicated that is if you use that notion over than just using observation and the controlling of, how would you say, your edges to shapes.
Mm-hmm.
And then just understanding if I want something to seem like it's far away, it has to be smaller.
Mhm.
If I want something near or close, it has to be larger.
Mhm.
If I'm doing something that looks like it's actual space, overlapping is important.
Mhm.
Look at how I'm making you believe, just with the markers now, I'm making you believe distance in the piece on the board.
Yeah.
You know, is that house bigger than that? If it was real, yeah, we know it would be bigger than that. But from that point of view, no, because I've known if any of our participants look from their back window, even if it's an apartment or condo, you'll look out the back window and you'll see that everything is smaller. That's representing being away from you. Even the things that may be on the first floor going towards the fence seem smaller.
Mhm.
Like, could we have made this yard seem deeper, as they call it? Yeah, we could have made
Yeah.
the fence in the whole scene that we're looking into smaller. And if we made that smaller, it would imply that it's further away.
Mhm.
So you can make it seem like you got 1.5 acres.
Mhm.
You know, if you ever seen a house or seen a perspective of a house that has 1.5 acres or 2 acres around it, and what does that feel like standing on the patio or the foyer area or the back patio to look across the land to see how that would look to see your neighbor. Yeah, the fence would be that big, like how we represent.
Mhm.
This is more so in your I would say almost urban environments. This is right 2 steps outside of an urban environment sometimes
Mhm.
in certain areas. You know, yep. Bucks County, Bensalem, Burlington County, Burlington City, Middlesex County. No, we have to come back. Well, it depends upon where you're at.
Mhm.
You're in a Trenton type area, you may see this type of scene in Edison. You
Mhm.
may see it in Ewing
Mhm.
Township, which is part of Middlesex, which is part of Trenton. See, and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
You may see this, what? Not, I don't think you see it like this in University City.
Not really.
Nope. Right. Even on Boathouse Road, it's not like this.
Mhm.
But the townships going away from the city, going along Lincoln Drive. When you get to
Mhm.
those points, I forget what that township is over there. But now you
Um,
may see a couple of backyard scenes like this.
mhm. That is Germantown, Chestnut Hill. There's another
Shelton, Chestnut Hill area, right?
Shel, yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, I almost had it. I almost had the name. I know there's another name.
Right. You can
Yeah.
see this in Upper Darby.
Mhm. Yeah, you can see it in Darby, you can see it in Upper Darby, uh
Northeast.
Drexel Hill Northeast. Um, what was
Going
this?
towards Pottstown, 309. What's that out there? Um, Temple used to have a school out there, still does.
Oh,
Going out on,
oh, Tyler.
yeah, out that way,
Yeah.
Penrose and out that way. You definitely
Yeah.
going to see that. Elkins Park
Mhm.
out that way. You're definitely going to see scenes like this.
Yeah. Mm. Yes.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about that one area you were talking about.
Mhm.
Can't believe I forgot the name.
It's all good. But it's on that back end. of River and Lincoln Drive that connects you to Washington Lane to go inward towards Germantown at that
Mhm.
very hilly back there. I like the way the apartments look. I have friends over there too.
Mhm.
Scenes from their apartments was pretty nice from back.
Mhm.
The expressway, seeing all the trees, everything. Yeah, it was a nice connection.
Yeah, I used to live in Roxborough.
Okay, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Because it kind of looks like that in Roxborough. Manayunk,
Mhm.
Roxborough, it'll look like this.
Mhm.
More cobblestone though, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Because of the Quaker influence of the area and how the area was settled.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know? But now you get it, everybody. If you look around your area, what areas would look something like this?
Mhm.
Does your
Yeah.
backyard look something like this? You know, does an auntie live there?
Mhm.
Cousin live in a situation like this?
Mhm.
Is this your southern roots when you go to visit down south, below
Mhm.
Maryland,
Mhm.
you know, Alabama, Louisiana, Indiana,
Mhm.
you know, those Midwestern states, would you see it that lush with greenery?
Mhm.
You see, what do certain terrains and environments look like? Here's another one you can do this with people, and you say, what are the differences between your environment and the environment that we're currently in?
Mhm.
So, say if it's an apartment that you're in, and you say in the classroom, so you know what's the difference between the classroom and your living room?
Mhm. Mhm.
You have to show us your living room, or what that looks like, or what's in it. If you can't draw it,
Mhm.
and write out the names of those items and place them on the page, upside down, right side up. If the TV is on the wall, then put TV on the wall or put a box and write everything inside the TV.
Mhm.
It needs to
There
be
are
done
no
as
rules.
right, but then there's ways of how would you say having a private session and a group session when it comes to being therapeutic, or switching the light on for it to be a creative, expressive, or then an instructional
Mhm.
period.
Mhm.
That's how easy it is. But most don't look at it like that. So then that's why some environments are a challenge.
Mhm.
But I enjoy going into every environment. So uh, you can go into any environment, any situation, all the way down to the home front
Mhm.
to utilize this thought or this suggestion. This is what's in the coloring book and stuff like that. And then there'll be a little notation afterwards saying how you can use it
Right.
and who's it used for. So
Mhm.
yeah, definitely when I put out the coloring book, I'm definitely looking for it to advertise it to teachers,
Mhm.
behavioral specialists, psychologists, group therapists,
Mhm.
therapists. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if you look at those situations, they'll use a printout. And
Right.
then now you can have it as a printout for a person if they're saying their drawing skills is weak. Then you can say, okay, write in the items or color in the items like what's in your house or show us your house.
Mhm.
Or say, can you, if you don't want to follow what's there, can you draw your own? And you give them a blank piece of paper for that individual that shows that they have that type of, I would say, patience with themselves and control of self, then they can do that. Then you let
Mhm.
them draw their own.
Right.
You just don't judge it.
Right.
You say, did you look at this? Did you look at that? You're not ridiculing saying, oh, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. No,
Mhm.
it's a good interpretation. If you had an issue with the thumb, did you look at how that thumb was made and then look at the correlation or the similarities or the comparisons between your thumb and the thumb you drew?
Mhm. Mhm.
That's truly a therapeutic session
Mhm.
because you're helping the person to control self through observing self, to not be
Mhm.
overly judgmental of self.
Judgment, man, that's not good.
It's no good, but that's what every human being does. And that's what every human being has to become in control of for itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's when it becomes narcissistic. Everything I do is perfect. You deal with people like that too as well. Well, are you really perfect? Is perfection really real?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're having a session with a person like that, you have to deal through narcissism. You have to deal through all those things that's based upon an overwhelming idea of self.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's true or false, whether it's a true interpretation or observation of self, or a make-believe metaverse idea of self. That's the problem. Who am I?
Mm-hmm.
What is really self? Because I can go on a computer and use 3 or 4 filters and not even worry about being myself.
Mm-hmm.
I can change my lips, I can change my tonality, I can change my bone structure.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then in reality, I'm nothing like what my likeness is in the metaverse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as an artist, I used to get hired to do airbrushing back in those days coming out of high school. There were still places where you can go and they needed people to airbrush photographs
Mm-hmm.
or negatives so that they can show up, you know, with no blemishes on the models and people like that. Now that's all done by the computer. But you would have to have an artist in the past that would be able to blend out or use the right filters to understand how to give the best picture for that periodical or for that magazine or for that newspaper or even for that TV station or even for that index book.
Mm-hmm.
See where I'm going? Or even for that magazine, Sports Illustrated, you know, even the penthouses and all that good stuff. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I was hired personally at all these places. No, I wouldn't, you know, how would you say, on a gate with deception like that. What I am saying is that at one point, before the computer became king and queen, you would have to have an individual that would actually be hired to do what they call pre-press, and they would get rid of certain blemishes or imperfections that were in film or photographs, so that now you would see that image properly. Same thing with editing back then. You know the deal because you had to do all those, well, possibly had to do with history, classical history of editing and American editing and world editing history and stuff like this.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You know, to understand certain things, see the total art of timing at that point, and how to take frames and blend them. And back then, you would have to do a lot of physical. You would have to roll the film out, and you have to be watching the film and then stop the frame and then snip it and know how to reconnect the film and how to overlap it and how to take one frame from someplace else and put it in another sector of that stream of film. Now we do that on the computer.
Yep.
No problem. Yep. To the point where you can take so many shots of a model, you can take 10,000 shots in an hour and be able to go through those to pick out the best shots for the cover of a magazine. This is what they're doing. So look at what the technology has cut out as far as the process is concerned. They cut out the photostatic room. They cut out all the board work skills. They cut out all the inking techniques. Because that's mainly what we're talking about here, inking and filling in techniques that they would use for storyboarding, illustrations for cartoons, comic books, epic comics, and all this good stuff like that. Yeah. Now you have a stylist, and some of them just use a pre-programmed mark that they can make themselves as a template to use when they use that stylist to fill in that particular manga character or that Marvel comic.
Ooh, yeah.
Then you have to ask yourself, well, how many companies that's dealing in these realms that we're talking about so loosely now still actually use the hand like how we're doing to do these type of pieces and these type of ponderings. Because if you really look around, that's the battle that we're in right now. How important is the human hand in this whole process? Well, if you're able to fix your mind and get yourself together to do something from nothing like this, and then see how you can do this with 11 by 17 or 8.5 by 11, and then take your 4-in-1 or 2-in-1 scanner, printer, device, and scan that in and manipulate it to make it a line drawing on your computer, you may see the advantages of these small sessions that we're having in order for you. Because I have people that come up to me or come at me and say, hey, Don, man, I really want to do this, but I want to make money with it. I want to make my own T-shirts. I want to make my own images that I'm going to sell as household images for decoration. Well, why not take the suggestion in the video stating that all you have to do is do a line drawing and scan it into your computer? That's, I mean, that's the ultimate. Now you take that and do what? It's a digital image. Now, if you look around, if you can share it on Facebook, that means that you can go to a merchandising space and have it where you can take that JPEG, pic, vector image, SVG image, and place it right down on whatever is there that they're saying that you can be in conjunction with them with. And now you have your merch. They have it now where you can go to your major people like Nike, Adidas, and people like that. And then on some of these merch or drop and ship applications and platforms, they'll have these companies there that now adds more authenticity to your particular design or thought because you're putting it on a well-known brand. These are all the opportunities for you, even if you're a retired person on a set income that's, a home buyer. Well, I would like for people to research licensure, the idea of licensure, and what that means to a visual person. And then look, and the next time you go to Target or any store, look for things that an artist would be licensed for. I.e., okay, go to your towel in your bed and bath or bath and home or home and bath sections. Look at the tapestries, the towels, the sheets. Try to notice the designs of the textiles and just see if you can possibly see that somebody was licensed for that particular design to go on that particular fabric. All right, go over to Home Depot or Lowe's. Go into sections where you're decorating or interior designing your bathrooms, your kitchens, especially your backsplash idea, your light switch treatments, and see if you're not going to see arenas or spaces where you have individuals that's making millions right up underneath your nose by obtaining a licensure deal based upon you buying that light switch of Mickey Mouse. You buying a light switch that has a deer drawn on it because you like hunting. Yeah, or you might like Bambi, so it may be a Walt Disney light switch series. So to outfit your child's room to make it a Bambi room, you got Bambi light switches. Or you got custom Bambi light switches made. Or you got it aqua dipped to get the design on that. However, we're talking about these are opportunities for your retiree.
Mhm.
Hallmark does it.
Mhm.
You open up your own card service.
Sure
Whereas
can.
just with your drawing, just like what we just did here, you can make cards out of it. What would you put on the inside of this card?
Uh, uh,
It's your day,
yeah.
your time. Congratulations on retirement.
Yay.
You know, for real.
Mhm.
You know, children gone.
Mhm. Yep.
You see? I'm being honest, everybody. Oh, I got my own house. If you're under
Mhm.
50, this is my backyard. Yeah.
It's mine.
You know? Oh, I'm relaxing, man. Oh, yeah. I'm a taxpayer.
Mhm. I'm a taxpayer.
You know? I'm a how would you say, eco-friendly sustainability person.
Mhm.
I got my own crop of kale and greens growing for some
Mhm.
corn. You know, that's going to be my yield for wintertime. See how you laughing, Nadine? It sounds
Mhm.
funny, right? But this is what people be saying about situations like this, something from nothing. So I hope everybody enjoyed this session. I hope everybody enjoyed the conversation as well that went with it. We would love to hear from everybody to hear if your thoughts and your ponderances on this type of idea of pulling something from nothing to whereas when you're controlling every aspect of the thought of the expression.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear me okay?
Say again?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I was getting a little bit of echo, so I was trying to fix it. I think it's still there.
Okay. It's still happening?
Yeah. I'm trying. It's not fair. Do you hear the echo?
No, I just hear pauses. It may be because if it's on my end, it may be because I'm at 61% on the tablet.
Okay.
So that may be the issue.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Let's see. Try this again.
Or do you hear it inside your headphones?
Oh no, I was switching it off of the headphones. And
Your computer sound and it'll make it an echo slight.
yeah, so now I'm hearing it in the headphones and echo.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I'm like, something's not right.
Well, we're not hearing it on outside of you. Like outside of you, we're
In the
hearing
headsets,
an echo. You're not echoing
I'm echoing.
to yourself. So that means that it might be on your end.
It is on my end.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was closing out a lot of stuff to see,
Uh,
and it wasn't
maybe something
right.
is still on that has control of the audio.
Yeah, I tried to get rid of every aspect of it, but that's the thing with technology. So I have to ignore it. I hope other people don't hear it.
No, we don't hear it out here, Nadine. You good.
Okay. All right. So that was a concern.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, this was a nice journey.
Yeah, because it really delved into really coming from nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
It evolved from the conversation.
Yeah.
And then that, we just wanted to make it feel like it was really from a personal point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do
Mm-hmm.
you utilize this to make us feel your personal point of view? And then it segue into how this can be used in the behavioral sciences, how it can be used in elder care in different environments, just by evoking the idea of printing it out as just a hand in a cup or getting the participants to delve into possibly drawing their own hand and cup and then
Mm-hmm.
enjoying the surroundings or the environment that
Mm-hmm.
that hand and cup is in.
Mm-hmm.
Because at first it was just a hand and cup, and then we added the perspective of the legs in it to deepen the idea even more from it being like it's from your actual perspective.
Yes. Yeah. That brought it home.
Right. And it alluded towards our idea of perspective of not having to worry about or being fear or having anxiety of perspective, because we're basing it upon how things really look to us in our visual world, but then more so in our inner verse. Because when you look at it that way, you'll start to see, okay, well, I'm sitting at my fence. How does my fence look in my mind's eye? Oh, it looks smaller from the deck rather than being the same size as the deck. Even though I know when I brought it, the wood was pretty much the same size as what I have on the deck. You see? But this is the way that you can conquer that anxiety of perspective drawing, or even foreshortening.
Yes.
Long as
Conquering the anxiety.
Yes. And that's what this is all about. You know, so that you can keep creating, keep you intrigued so we can keep you creating. Because you are an artist and you are a creator. That's the overall mission. And now that you know, Chase the Y is a t-shirt design, so you can get that over at the pop-up store. So it's already there. Yeah, with another one, it's called the dog, or a series that I'm going to do of canine drawings of certain breeds that's just favorite in society. And it's called the Creative Beast, basically. So if you go to the pop-up shop, you'll see it. It's the pit bull that I had. His name was Petey, but I did a drawing of pit bulls and different types of canines that I'm going to be putting on shirts, and call that your Creative Beast, to keep creating. And it has line, shape, and form around the head. So you can get it on colored t-shirts because it's like a knockout, almost like a patch.
Yeah.
You see? So yeah, everybody, you know, maybe you may not be able to buy a paint. Maybe you may not be able to go to Patreon, everybody, and participate fully like that. But why not buy just Let's Paint and Draw Along t-shirt by Don Stephens and Nadine O. And you go right to the page and support by buying one of those. They're like 30. We got the long sleeve one and the short sleeve one. I believe they're at the price point in between like 25 and maybe $40 at the most. In its entirety, it may cost you about that to have it shipped straight to your home, because I have certain ways where you can have it shipped econo style and things like that at certain prices. You see? So yeah, for that little monetary thing, you have a piece of us that you can use and wear, you know what I mean, and represent, and possibly start conversation when people look at your shirt and say, wow, keep creating. And then you can express to them how that feels to you, to have the notion of hashtag keep creating and carry the Keep Creation Nation going forward.
Yes.
So yeah, you once again, you might not have it, or you might say, well, man, I got enough artwork. I got so much artwork. I got stuff underneath stuff and in storage. So I don't need more artwork, Don. I need to rotate. Okay. Well, how about supporting by buying something for your wardrobe, apparel? I'm thinking about also doing some scarves for us with our design. So you can make, I know how ladies like to connect and things like that, or individuals that are in asexual males and things like that. I hate to say it like that. Please don't think that I'm trying to be negative. I'm just trying to properly say it in a way where it's socially agreeable at this point, without causing too much headache and emotional strain for individuals. But what I am saying is possibly adding some of our sessions to a silk scarf. And then you'll be able to buy that image from that session as a scarf that you can wear to represent, your appreciation of Let's Paint and Draw Along with Nadine O and Don Stephens. Because we don't want you to feel as if that you have to do something. You don't have to do anything. But if you really do believe in what we're doing, you believe in our initiative and how we're handling our situation and how we've been able to be here thus far, then please do celebrate by buying a $25 Keep Creating t-shirt.
That's right.
And it'll only cost you about $10 to ship, so it's about $30 in total. You can buy it on a white t-shirt. I believe I have it on colored, and I marked that price down to $25. And then this lastly, just to let you know with the merchandise thing and everything else that you're seeing coming from us, it's not that we're producing these products and housing them and manufacturing them in-house. This is the merchandise game. So, you know, the companies that you're seeing the t-shirts and our designs on, we have to split tender with them. So they're taking theirs off the top. So then now we charge just 20, you're only making $1 profit every time. Wow. So yeah, on certain campaigns, you may be able to do that, but as a continuum, probably not if we don't have a lot of, I would say, participants that or subscribers at that. But until that point, I believe that's a fair price for participants to participate in the supporting, and is to be a give and take. You have a t-shirt that's tangible, that you can feel, you know, confident about and very proud of having, because it's of good quality, heavy t-shirt tee. And it's very, how would you say, provoking in that matter, as far as visually when you walk. Because I've been told by people that have purchased it, it spawns a lot of thought when people say they see hashtag keep creating. Or they say when my eyes open, it's on. Like I had a couple people hit me back and let me know what was the responses when they walked around the house, or when they walked around their neighborhood, or they was out and about. Somebody would respond, "Oh, I like your t-shirt. That's cool. When my eyes open, it's on." You see? So did the t-shirt help you spawn thought? Did it make people smile when they look at your shirt and go, "Yeah, keep creating"? You know, did they connect with you? So that's a small thing that we're asking of you. That's our exchange. Get a t-shirt for your monetary fiat or tender exchange to keep our, I would say, our idea going, our experiences going. Because it's still going to keep going. We're just looking for and asking for participation if it has helped you. If anything we've done in any one of the sessions helped you get through anything, helped you with calming down on understanding perfection and our slogan, perfection is a lie, repetition is the truth. If any of that assists you, then please do feel free to participate by purchasing a t-shirt at a small monetary price of $25.
Yes, and I did want to say I messed up. I put the wrong link. I did update the link.
There you go.
The link is for Printify.
Yes.
And it's DonStephensArt. Printify.
Yep. So you have to go Don-Stephens-Art dot Printify, PRINTIFY.me/products. So even if you do a Google search, if you put in Don Stephens Art as a Google search, it comes up underneath all the things for that direct query.
Yes.
You see? So those are the numerous ways that you can get to Don Stephens Art to be able to get the purchase. You can go through our page, Let's Paint and Draw Along page, either on YouTube like that right now, or you can go to our web page. Is that Let's Paint and Draw Along web page, or?
It's not, I'm working on it. I had some images not loading, so.
Okay, so it's down momentarily?
It's down momentarily, but you should be able to put in Let's Paint and Draw Along.com and it'll come up.
Okay, everyone. So, you know, look for that coming back up soon. But these are the different ways where you can connect with us and participate in leaving a pledge or a notion of support, you know what I mean, to keep interest like things going, like we can delve into even more video content of being outside of the studio space, maybe going to an art store and having a session at an art store. I was looking at those type of opportunities, Nadine.
Oh, okay.
From like, you know, artisans and crafters, maybe approaching them and asking them, oh, can I do it? Since you have sessions for First Fridays for people to be outside, what if I did a live stream outside of a Let's Paint and Draw Along session? And then I'm outside and then you guys are with you, or we're both on the same location. You see what I'm saying? Still two separate cameras so they can both see us. You know what I'm saying? With two
You got to
different
work it out
angles.
somehow. Yeah, yeah.
Right, but we're still in the same area. We're still right there, so we can give you the same feeling. But then it's pretty much like borrowing from Rest Fever idea. Put it to you that way.
Yeah. Out on the road for 2 years.
For me, it would be me out on my bike, sitting out somewhere with the lawn chair or that collapsible, concert chair and a collapsible black easel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, all right, everybody, we out here. You know what I mean? I don't know how long this phone going to act right, or this tablet's going to act right, but we got about a good half an hour, 2 hours tops. So we're going to do it, everybody. Come on. Let's draw. Let's keep creating. Nadine will be with us shortly. That's what I would do. You see what I'm saying?
Come on, let's draw. Come on, let's draw.
Yeah. But once again, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope you enjoyed the conversation, the art conversation, the art lingo. If you have any questions about anything, leave your questions separately if you want to, or all together on the Let's Paint and Draw Along page on Facebook, Instagram, or wherever you're seeing us at, Rumble, all these different places. Leave a message, everybody. Leave a thought, leave a notion. If we're crap, then tell us we're crap. I don't mind hearing it.
I might feel a little sensitive for a second.
Right. So address it to Don, everybody. Don't you bother Nadine, everybody. Nadine is not saying it. I'm saying it. As the young would say,
we want to hear from you, good or bad.
Right. I want smoke, no matter what it is. If it's good smoke, I want it. If it's bad smoke, I want it. You know what I mean?
Long as we get smoke.
That's it. Just let us know. What you think about this session. Is it helping you, or did it confuse you? Let me know how I did confuse you. Right. Is there any pointers for us to be able to go through this to make it feel a little bit more exciting? Or was the subject matter cool enough as a place for our idea of something coming from nothing?
Yes.
Would you want us to do an outer space on an aerial view next time? Yeah.
That's cool.
So with that being said, I'll leave it at that. I'll lay down my creative hat there. And
you dropping the mic?
Yeah, I'm dropping the mic there. We're at what? 12:39.
Yeah.
I'll reverse the angle now. I see the issue. It might not be able to handle being sideways when I reverse the angle. So now I'll try. Yeah. There we go. You see, that was the issue. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So now when it's on that wide angle, I can't reverse the camera on the opposite side.
Okay.
Gotcha. But if it's on the landscape view, then I can switch the camera angle. Depends upon the device if it has the technology to handle that.
Wow. Awesome. Yep. Well, with that said, we have come to another beautiful close to a wonderful day of creating here at Let's Paint and Draw Along. We like doing these things like this pop-up of something from nothing. I think the biggest takeaway was we wanted you to conquer the anxiety of drawing to keep you creating. And that was the biggest takeaway that I think, and a beautiful jewel in that. So with that in mind, we want you to have a beautiful week. Remember, if you would like to support us, this impacted you in any way, and you want to support us by purchasing a t-shirt, maybe similar to this one with your drawing or whatever. Some of the other ones are really cool. You can go to the link or go to our page, and the information is there. And working on the website. There's something not going on, but I'm working on that.
Just keep your eyes open, everybody. We keep
your eyes open. Keep creating. 365 days, 24 hours in a day. All right, take care, be blessed, and keep creating.
Yay!
Another one bites the dust.